Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to talk about a brand new game that I've been playing, which is Fairy Tail Fierce Fight. Now this is a very new game. I think it was only launched globally yesterday. There was a CN version, so a Chinese version, that's been out for about 2-3 months, but the global one, the release date was only yesterday, so it's very new. Now the game itself is gacha game, so with lots of different characters that you can collect, etc. Different rarities, so you have SSR, SR, R, etc. And with this being a gacha game, I know a lot of people would be trying to reroll for a very good account. So this video, I'm going to kind of talk about exactly what is a reroll process and what should you really aim for the reroll account, because there are a few things which I noticed that makes this game slightly different to a standard gacha game that you should be aware of before starting the reroll process. Now, so first part of the video, I'm going to talk about the process itself of how to reroll. So this is already like 2 or 3 hours in, and this is just a demo count. This is not the actual count I'm going to keep, but I think it's a very good one to demonstrate exactly what's going to happen eventually as you progress a bit further into the game, just so you have a bit more understanding of what to look out for. Now, obviously, the main thing you're going to do is tutorial when you first start off the game, and basically you are forced to go through the entire tutorial up to the entire chapter 1. So basically at the end of 1.4, you will then be able to actually break out of the tutorial, and then at that point you want to go and start recruiting your characters. Now at the very beginning, you wouldn't actually see these two banners. Those two banners are only unlocked after the beginner banner. So the beginner banner is this banner, which I think you need to do 60 pulls, and by the end of 60 pulls, you get one SSR character for free, which is this one, Juvia. You will be able to get Juvia for free after the 61, and doesn't count toward the pity because I've done the banner, and you can see here the pity is still continuing on. So that's quite nice about that. But the main thing I think you can already tell what this game is trying to do is it's trying to prevent you from rerolling, because the actual really good characters are actually kind of almost locked away behind the beginner banner, and you are forced to do the 60 pulls on the beginner banner in order to actually unlock those really good limited characters that you want to pull for. So that's the first thing you have to bear in mind. This game is not designed for you to reroll. Now the reroll process itself is actually quite straightforward, because like I said, you only need to do the tutorial, which only goes up to chapter 1, and it only takes about, I think, like less than 10 minutes for sure. It doesn't take that long, so it's very easy for you to do this, especially if you actually play this on an emulator on your laptop or your computer. You can do like multiple instances at once, so it's actually quite easy to reroll. But at the end of reroll, the first thing you want to do is you want to go to your mail, and within the mail that you will be able to get this letter, which is like just welcoming you and give you 10 free tickets for summon. What you don't want to do is you want to go into your recruitment, and then you do your first 10 summon on your beginner banner, and see whether you're lucky enough to get any SSR or very good SR. And then what happens is that after you've done those 10 pulls, you wouldn't really have enough diamonds or currency to make many other pools, but you can still make 2 more. And the way you make those 2 extra more is you just collect a few freebies that they give out. So there's one here, which is the daily offer section here. All the other stuff are packs which you have to pay, but there's a free one which gives you 25 gems. So you want to go there. Then you also want to go to the benefit section, and day 1 you get 100 gems as well. So that's another 100 you will get. And then because in your first 10 pulls you're guaranteed an SR unit, what you can then do as well is that in the benefit section there's this one which is about like wizards gather, and basically there is a mission which about having one SR and above wizard, and because you're guaranteed at least one SR in your first 10 pulls, you're then able to collect this 50 gems as well. And basically after you collect all of those, oh, and there's one more. If you click on the plus icon on the gems, diamonds, what you will see here, there's a login reward in the mysterious shop section, so you can collect another 20 here as well. So all of those are the ones that you're able to collect without doing anything extra, and that I believe gives you about 450 diamonds in the end, or maybe 460. And with those 460, what you don't want to do is you want to go to your diamond shop to buy 2 tickets, and basically 2 tickets only cost 440 here, whereas if you do the summon itself, it would cost 280. So that's kind of why you want to clear all your freebie, all your free diamonds without doing anything else, and then buy the 2 extra here. And that basically gives you 12 pools at the beginning of the game for you to try to see whether you're lucky enough to get any good characters that you really want. But that's basically the reroll process. Now, what you can also do is that because the reroll only takes 10 minutes, it's not too much of effort if you do need to open up multiple things. But what you can also do is you can switch server at the beginning of the game. So at the beginning of the game, you can switch server to another server which is not full, and basically you can restart the whole process without kind of like deleting your account and then reinstall the game, etc. So you can also do that if you want. I believe anything. It's quite funny how they rolled out this game, which is that this app they're doing is actually the same app as the Chinese version. So what happens is the first 15 server, those are kind of the Chinese exclusive servers, whereas for server 16 and onwards, those are the global ones. So if you do actually try to do this process of re-rolling by different servers, don't go anything which is like 15 watt lower, because what happens is then you'll be mixing up with people from the Chinese server and you'll be so far behind them. So definitely don't do that. Only start re-rolling from server 16 and onwards. So that's something you have to bear in mind. But basically with all of those, you will be able to get 12 summons, and you can see whether you are able to get anyone good before you deciding whether you want to re-roll on a different server or maybe just have a new instance on your emulator to restart the whole process again. But that's basically the re-roll process itself. Now, in terms of the characters you really want to go for, now this game is quite different to some of the other gacha games in the sense that I feel it's somewhat free-to-play friendly, which is that for any of the really low rarity characters, you can actually upgrade them all the way to the very high level, so 6-star. So basically what happens is any R characters or the rare characters, you get them at 1-star. Any SR character, you get them at 2-star. And any SSR character, you get them at 3-star. But all of them, you can actually upgrade all the way to 6-star. So for example, Natsu, he is R character, so I got him at 1-star. However, because you can then get different shards for him, what happens is that you can then eventually upgrade him to 2-star and just keep on promoting him, etc. So that aspect is very, very nice. So for example, you can see here, I already done I'm not sure how many fragments you need to have in total. I didn't keep count, and maybe it may be different as you go from one star to another. But basically for each one of those stats improvement, you need to use some shards. I think like 2 each here. And then for the final promotion, you need to use another 5. So that's probably 15 for you to go from 1-star to 2-star. So for example, you can see here, I have already unlocked all of those stats. This is character currently is a 1-star rare character, but I can actually use 5 of his fragments to then actually upgrade him to 2-star. In which case, he then get some extra stuff, extra stats, etc., which makes him, even though he's still an R character, but that basically makes him as good as an SR character, and so on. So that's something very important for you to bear in mind, which is that no matter how low rarity your characters may be, you can still promote them all the way to the end. So from that perspective, it's actually, I would argue, you actually want to concentrate on SR character more than the SSRs. And the reason for this is that if you look at a character stats, what you see is that he only unlocks certain skills when they reach 4-star. Now, if you actually want to promote an SSR character, what you realize is that it costs him a lot. So, for example, because you're already going from 3-star to 4-star rather than 1-star to 2-star, you can see for every single stats, you will actually need 20 fragments in order to go, and you have 5 here, so that basically means you need 100 here, potentially another 20 to actually promote, so that basically means you need 120 fragments in order to get from 3-star to 4-star for an SSR character. And every dupe you get for a character, that only gives you 60. So that basically means in order for you to go and have a 4-star SSR character, you actually need 3 copies of him. You need 1 copy of him and then another 2 dupes in order to actually promote him. Just in order to unlock his 4th skill, and that's a lot of commitment considering the rates in this game, it's not actually that easy for you to get an SSR character, and therefore in long run, I actually feel like vast majority of players, unless you are going to spend lots of money trying to chase for one particular character, otherwise a lot of your SR character and also R character are actually going to be at much higher star level than your SSR. And one extra skill means a lot in this game because all of them have cooldown periods, right? This one have 12-second cooldown, this one have 12-second cooldown. Having one extra skill basically means you can fill up your cooldown period where you're able to do something else rather than your base attack. So it's actually very, very important for all of your characters to be kind of at least 4-star or higher for them to be used to maximum their maximum potential. And on top of that, what you can see is also there's this thing which I have checked out the Chinese version of the game. Basically, what happens is this only happens once the character is already at 6-star, and then you need to spend even more shards to actually kind of like break them through to a different level. So different aptitude or whatever. And basically that just kind of shows you, in order for you to actually train up an SSR character all the way to the max, it's actually very, very difficult in this game. And that's kind of why if you actually check out the Chinese version of the game, a lot of people are actually using a lot of the R character and the SR character, and a lot of them are very, very good as well. But that's kind of one reason when you're doing the reroll process, I would actually argue you don't actually want to focus too much on just the SSR, because first of all, you could end up rerolling for a really long time because you need to keep on trying for that really low rate. Whereas if you actually go for SR, not only you're actually gonna much more likely to end up with a reroll count in much shorter time, but also the character that you're able to pull, you will actually be playing them for a really long time. Instead of an SSR, if you only meant to get one copy, yes, sure, he or she may be really good at the beginning of the game, but once you reach a certain level, when all of your other characters got dupes and become even higher star level than your SSR, they're just going to sit in your box and not do anything. So, and also for the earlier stages, I think you don't even need SSR in order to clear them. So that makes your SSR really awkward, which is in the beginner stage, yes, they would be better than your R character or SR character, but you can clear the content anyway with your R or SR. And then in the end game, you are going to be so far behind your other rare characters or super rare characters that it just doesn't make sense for you to play them. So that's kind of why I'm not a great fan of rerolling for SSR in this game. And the other reason why I also don't think rerolling for SSR is the best idea is that in the beginner banner, what you see is that the character that you can pull is kind of those 7. Those are the SSR that you actually want to go after in your reroll because those are the only one available for you. Other characters such as those 2, they are only unlocked after your kind of mandatory 60 summons. Therefore, you wouldn't really be rerolling for them. I used this account as a demo just to see how fast I can push, and it still took me like I think 2 hours or so, completely free to play, to actually push all the way for me to clear 60 summons. And yeah, you're not gonna spend 2 hours rerolling, right? So it just doesn't make sense for you to try to reroll for one of those characters that are not within your beginner banner. And then the funny thing here is that they're actually, even though a lot of characters are called SSR rarity in this game, they're actually, I feel like there's 3 different levels of SSR, because you have those ones which I'm going to call them the permanent banner SSR. You have 7 of them, but then if you actually look at in your glossary to look at all of the SSR which are available, you have the likes of, for example, Gildas, who you only unlock after your beginner banner, and then you also have the likes of Laxus, who once again, those are the characters you are not able to pull on your beginner banner. So they are actually going to be summoned via a different banner and using different currency, which is this one. So they would require this one, which is, let me try to see what it's called in the game. They will be summoned using something called limited recruit cooldown, whereas the one you use for beginner summon is actually elite recruitment coupon. And basically you can see the price for them are actually the same. Like if you disregard this daily purchase one, which you can get a discount. Otherwise, if you are actually going to summon in bulk, the price for each one of those summon is going to be exactly the same. And actually, those limited characters are generally stronger than the ones which are in your permanent banner. So it doesn't quite make sense for you to spend loads of diamonds try to summon for one of those SSR only for them to be kind of power crap by another limited SSR that is not going to be in your beginner banner. So that's why I also feel like re-rolling for an SSR in the beginner banner doesn't really make sense. And on top of that, just on this note, there are also two other characters which are those two costume ones. So this Urza and also this I forgot her name now. Uh, Miragen, they are using a different ticket altogether as well, which you can't actually buy them now. You can only buy them when their banner is out, and they are kind of limited. I think only 20 tickets per banner that you can actually buy with diamond. So they are even more rare and even stronger than the other limited character. So basically there are already 3 tiers of SSR, and just doesn't really make sense to re-roll for an SSR in this case, because you are not even getting the best character that you're possibly able to obtain. So that's kind of why I personally do not recommend re-rolling for SSR in this game, unlike different gacha game where you try to go for the best character ever. It's just that the fact that you can break through and promote all of your lower rarity to be even better than an SSR without dupes, that kind of just makes it no worse spending all those effort to reroll for an SSR. So on that note, what I actually recommend when you are doing the reroll process is to go for SR character, and there's one SR character I really strongly recommend, and that's the one you should definitely go after, and that's going to be Wendy. So reroll for me in this game is just literally do your 12 summons and see whether you're able to pull Wendy, and that's it. Or if you are lucky enough to get an SSR, then you won the lottery there, so you might as well keep the account. But otherwise, going for Wendy is probably the one that actually going to make the most impact for you in short term. And the reason why Wendy is really good is because she's a healer, and a lot of those missions in this game kind of requires a couple of things. One, for you to actually obtain kind of meet all of their requirements. You can see there are loads of different things. Let me go for one of the most recent ones. But you can see you basically have different star requirement in order to actually complete something. And a lot of times, where can I see what are the requirements? Is it here? It's probably not here. But basically, a lot of time, basically, you have conditions for the battle. So if I go into here, I'll go into the battle itself. You can see here, for me to actually get a 3-star requirement, some of them you need at least have 20% or more HP, etc. So having a healer, first of all, make that easier. The other thing which makes it easier in this game as well is that if you do want to auto and still meet those 3-star requirements, this game's auto system is designed really badly in the sense that even though you have 3 characters, it never really swap. So if you don't actually have a healer in your team in the first position, what tends to happen is that your first character just dies in auto mode, and then your second character comes out, and then if you're doing it like that, you'll never be able to get the 3-star requirement. So if you want to make your life easier in auto, rather than trying to manually play through them and just have it running in auto in the background, then definitely have a healer is very useful. And yeah, Wendy just really good for that. And on top of that, she actually deals quite nice break damage. She's wind element, and out of all of the wind element, obviously you get Lucy for free at the beginning. So obviously if you do not have another wind character, you probably end up using Lucy, but Lucy is not actually that strong. So having Wendy also kind of really complement your elemental formation as well, because you have Natsu, who's fire, you have Gray, who you have by default, which is ice, you have Lucy, but now you're going to change to Wendy, so you now have wind coverage. You are going to get Garjo from the day 3 and also the various different events in the game, so you are guaranteed kind of like a copy of Garjo as well, and he's Earth, so basically you already covered the 4 main elements. Eventually, as you push a bit further, you are going to get Makarov as well, and he's light, so that basically means out of the 6 elements, you are able to cover 5 of them already by just pulling Wendy. Now, if you don't go for Wendy, then obviously there are other really good SRs, which are like Biscar, I know is really good. Garjo is good, but obviously you would be getting free copies and not really worth going after. Other good SRs would be Soul is really good. Um, Aragorn is also good, and then she is okay. But I think the main thing you want for her is the fact that she actually has dark skills, which makes you have that complete elemental coverage. Because, like I said, you already be able to cover five of the element with what the game gives you for free. The only one kind of missing is dark, and there are not that many dark characters. Like this is, I think, is the only other one, which is like R or SR character who's able to do dark damage, dark skills. So unless you are gonna use her, otherwise, she will also be a very good character for your kind of dark element coverage if you do want to go after. But honestly, Wendy is the one I really recommend. It just makes your battles so much easier, especially when you are trying to auto the game rather than trying to play everything manually, which can take a lot of time. So that's kind of the main thing I really recommend for you to reroll after. Just kind of go for Wendy. And the other reason why it's really important for you to go after Wendy is that eventually the other really annoying thing, which kind of shows this game trying to prevent you re-rolling, is that there's a gift codes redemption system, but that's only unlocked after if once you reach level 13, I think. And to actually get to level 13, that's kind of like 20-minute, 25-minute of gameplay. So once again, it's really trying to lock you behind, not re-rolling, etc. But eventually, you would have two gift codes, which are already available in the game. So there's VIP 666 and also VIP 888. So if you use those two gift codes, I can't remember which one is which, but one of them give you 10 pulls, and then the other one give you if you go to backpack, the other one gives you this selective SR. Now, in the selective SR, you can see this has everything except for Wendy. So once again, Wendy is already kind of been classified as something somewhat special. Like Wendy is by far the best SR character in this game, and you can already tell the fact that the game doesn't want to give SR, Wendy for free. The only way you can kind of guarantee getting a Wendy is if you actually go and buy it in the shop. However, in order to actually buy this shard, you are required to buy the monthly pass. So you actually have to pay money in order to guarantee Wendy, and that kind of just shows why Wendy is just on a different level to other SR. And the rate for Wendy is still actually same as at the SR units, I believe. Let me just double check that. The rate for Wendy is still the same as all of the other SR. So if you are actually trying to do reroll, this is actually a really good way for you to actually guarantee her. Because like I said, even if you have used that voucher or that coupon code, you still would not be able to actually use this in your selective SR. So that's kind of why I think just going for Wendy as your reroll goal is the one that makes the most sense for me, unless you really want to try your luck with your SSR, etc. And on this note, for the selective SR, I already mentioned quite a few good SR characters that you can go after. Oh, he is also very good. Like he is also, I think like if you do want to go for someone else outside Wendy, which I personally don't recommend, I really think you should go after Wendy, and then for whichever other SR you really like, just pick out from this selective. And if you do want to choose someone, I would recommend either him or I would recommend Aragorn. So I think he's light coverage. I think he's light element. Aragorn is wind. She is dark. He is Earth. Gajo is also Earth, but to be honest, because Gajo you can get for free, you probably don't need that. He's Fire, and I think he's also decent, but the thing is you already get Nasu for free, and Nasu is actually really good in this game, so you probably want to skip him. So yeah, so if you do need to, and Biska. Biska doesn't have any element, but she just does insane high amount of damage, especially for PvP, so that's why she's also good. So yeah, so I do think like just go for Wendy in your reroll process, and for your selective, I just choose one from him, her, him, or her. So choose between those five for your SSR selective. If it's up to me, I'll probably choose him. I think he's probably the best one out of all of them. And also give you that light coverage, which you wouldn't be able to get unless you get Makarov. And in order to actually get Makarov, you need to go quite far into the game because this is not even one copy. This is just a shard. This is just 5 shards. I can't remember whether you need 20 or 60 for an SSR, but yeah, you wouldn't be getting a free Makara for a really long time. So if you do need that light coverage, I think what's his name? Is it Arya? Yeah, Arya would be the best person to go after in terms of your selective, but definitely go for Wendy in your reroll process.